Hi and welcome to my PlayHouse, and today we're in the data center and I'm gonna take you through yet another server. The last one I have in the IBM 3650 series, and that is the Model 3 M3, and it's right down here. I have two that have not gone into production yet. It's kind of the fastest server that I own. I have four of them. I have two that is already in production, and I have two that is new to me. They are used servers, but I haven't configured them yet, and I was gonna show you the server before I do this, and maybe do another video on configuring and setting them up for my needs. And this is the server we're talking about, the one without the sticker. If you see this one, it's yellow, and it's because of a power supply. Same model of server, and if you pull this out, you can see the yellow light up here, and it says PS, and that's power supply, and that's because of the OOPS that I've been playing around with in another video, trying to get my system, my vital systems on OOPS support, and yeah, but we are playing with this server, and this is the two new ones, and I'm just picking the top one because it's easier to film. So it's a rack server like that, but let's start with what's on the front of it. Here on the front, let's start over here. We have the model number, and this is a 7945, and there's the serial number and the product ID, not really that important, and then there's the Intel Xeon sticker, just tells you what kind of processors is in this. And then we have hard drive base. This server has only two hard drives, and they're both SAS disks, and they're 146 gigabytes. They're 2.5 inch bridge, and oh, these are 15,000 RPMs. So they are little fast disks. And the server can accommodate, this is 0, and it can accommodate up to 15, so that's 16 disks of that size. And as far as I know, these disks come, I think there's a 900 gigabyte disk edition on the market, and it also does SATA disks. Yeah, this one right here, that one has SATA disks. They're a bit slower than these disks, but doesn't really matter for what I'm using them for. And over here we have the controls. A plug for an external monitor. Actually, it's probably not an external monitor, but to connecting a monitor on the front. And there is two USB ports, and that would be very good for a USB stick, or if you're actually connecting a monitor and a keyboard and a mouse on the front, that would be good. And then we have this panel here, and that's the light panel diagnostics. And as we saw on this one, this is good for getting a feel of what is wrong with a server when it's wrong, and this is okay. It's supposed to be complaining about that. There we are. And it has this reminder button and this is for when you if the server has an error and you turn it off and then you couldn't remember what the error was, then you can press the remind button and it will light up wherever the error was. Even though the server is off, it has a little battery and it remembers what error it was. And then there's a restart button, and this is kind of dangerous because this button restarts the server. Well, and on the front of this panel we have the on button, on off. You can press this button and the server will boot up. There's no power on this server right now, but otherwise it would be blinking like this one. This one. This is what the server looks like when there's power on it, but it's not powered on. So there's power connected to the server. And then we have a network light diode. Oh, let's start with this one. It has a protective shield to go over the on-off button so that you don't press this accidentally. So that's okay. And then there's a light diode for network connection, and we can just see this here. This server has a lot of network connections. I'm copying things from it right now. And yeah, let's just for the fun of it explain the next one. It's the light tower. There we are. So if I'm supposed to find this server on the back and change a connection, it's much easier because when I press this and it's blue here, it blinks blue on the back of the server as well. And the next two is there's an information button. This is it's not very often on. I don't think that I've seen it on ever, but it's there. And there's the attention button, and it's the same down here. And down here we have a DVD drive and a CD drive, and yeah, it's like a drive from a portable. Yeah, you can't really see it from there. Like from a laptop, same system. And that's more or less what we have on the front of the server. It comes out like this for maintenance. But there's no way that we can see that, so we'll have to go around the back. Okay, here we are on the back of the server, and let's just start over here again. We have a management port for the IMM, integrated management module, I think it is. And the next thing we have is this is an extension port. You can put in an extra NIC, 2 NICs here, network adapters. And we have the standard NICs. It comes with 2 standard 1 gigabit net cards, network cards, and we have a monitor plug down over here. And we have 3 light diodes, and we can see those up here. Here we have a green one for that the power is on. Green one for power is on, and the blue one is blinking. That was the one with the light tower, so that I can find the server on the back. And then we have a yellow one, and that's orange one, and that's the server complaining about the power supply, and that's because this server it's on main power, and this white one goes down to the oops in the bottom that's not really connected right now, or it's not on. So that's the light diodes. And then we have a serial port. Not very often used anymore, but it's still there, and it's good when you need it. It's good to have a serial port. And then we have USB port 3 and 4. 1 and 2 is on the front, 3 and 4 is on the back. And then we have redundant power supplies. We have 2 small power supplies, and they of course come out there. They're fairly long, like this, and it's a, where is it? Oh, come on, come on. Don't they even write how much power there's in this thing? Okay, no problem. It's sufficient. And there's 2 of those. And the one that comes with the server has this tag, so that you can find the management adapter. There's information on that. And this server that I've gotten, it has some extension cards. It has an extra NIC and a fiber channel network card, and it has another set over here for redundancy. But let's not look at those. Let's go around to the front. And here we are. I've pulled out the server again, and right on the top there's, well, it's not that important, but there's like this drawing to help you install the server in the rack. When you get a new server, you'll not get this server from new. I think they stopped selling it. But you're supposed to mount the racks, the slides first, and then you're supposed to put down the server, and it goes down like the end of the server goes down first, and it goes into some slots on the side of this rail. And other useful information is the server serial number and model number right here. And over here, usually the production date is somewhere. Yeah, this server is from the 11th, September 11th, 2010. If I'm reading the date correct, or otherwise it's the 9th of November. I don't know. It's not that important. It's from 2010, so that's kind of important. And to get the cover open, like all the other ones, it's this blue one. You press it, pull up this handle, and press it back, and the cover slides up, and you can open it. And on the back of it, there's a lot more important information. Oh, it's upside down. Here is a lot of information about the server and options to do different things. Up here it's explaining about how to put in a PCI adapter. I think we'll do that because I don't really need that amount of network cards, so we'll take some of those out. And here is the explanation about the light path diagnostics panel over here, and this reset button. If you want to know what that does, it's rather important. And the reminder button, press to put the system error LED into remind mode. So yeah, that explains about the panel. And over here is hot swappable power supplies, explaining about what the light diodes on the power supply. Every power supply has 3 light diodes, and it tells you if there's an error. And it has a green light diode for AC, and it has a green light diode for DC. And these lights up if the AC power is good, it turns green, and if the DC power, the power coming out of the power supply, is also good, it's green there. And if there's some error, this turns probably orange. So, and if you're only working with one power supply, you should use original. The server comes with a panel to put over the power supply, so that it doesn't disturb the airflow through the server. So, and down here in the middle we have something about hot swap fans, and every fan has light diodes as well to show if the fan is working as it should. And further down we have something about the hot swap hard drives, and we have the front of the panel here. System information amber LED. I don't see that on very often. It's not that widely used. And then up here we have something about the network card that you can install extra. When you buy the server, there's the option of buying this little network card extender to put inside the server, and there's a small explanation about that. And beneath that we have the memory configuration, and the server is only able to take half the amount of memory if there's only one processor. It takes up to 16 slots of memory, but if there's only one processor in the server, it only takes 8. So it's very important to look at this, and it also tells you the order of which to put in the memory slots, memory blocks. And further down we have an explanation about the main board, and it has a lot of numbers, and that reference to all kinds of what is this on the motherboard. And we have something about installing a microprocessor, and this, if you are switching to a faster or slower microprocessor, or if you are installing the extra microprocessor in the server. You can buy this server with one microprocessor or 2 microprocessors. And the normal is, if you buy it with 2 microprocessors, it also comes with 2 power supplies. And last, on this cover, we have a lot of spare parts, and we have some links for seeking additional information on the server. So that was the backside of the cover. Let's take that away. Okay, like some of the other servers that I've been doing reviews upon, this server is also meant for airflow. The air is divided into four groups on this server. Here we have a CPU cooling area down this way, and it has some plastic shielding to keep the air on track. And this fan blower is keeping this CPU cold, and it's cooling down the extension cards down here, the PCI cards also, but primarily it's cooling down. It's the primary CPU. That's the CPU that the server comes with. If you buy this server, this CPU is in it. and this one will be an empty slot. The second blower over here is cooling all the RAM. So all the RAM is under this path, and the third blower, that is cooling the second CPU. I think that normally this fan blower is here, even if the server does not come with the second CPU. And also it's cooling these PCI extension slots. And up here there's not really any fans, because the power supplies has fans. The power supplies is under here, and they are sucking out air that way. So they will suck in air this way, and that air comes over the hard drives over here. Here is where the hard drives is. This one only has the 2 of those, and it has these plastic covers, and that's for the server not to take in too much false air. And there is tiny holes in it, and I'm sure that they designed it so that there's the same resistance in this plastic thing as if there was a real hard drive in there. And down here we have the rate controller, and over here we have the possibility of installing a USB stick in the server, and I'll just zoom in on that. If you're using your server for VMware or some of the other virtualization systems, it's often sufficient to boot from a USB stick, and it's very nice to have the USB stick inside of the server, because if it's on the outside of the server, someone could come and take it away. Just pull the USB stick out of the server. And so let's take it some more apart. I told you that we were going to take out some of the PCI cards down here. So let's take up here we have PCI extension cards, and this one has a extra network card with 2 NICs. This is a fiber optic network card. It's actually quite fast. It's a 8 gigabit. So and we have a network card. I'm gonna leave the server with 1 extra network card, and this is an Intel card. So you're really supposed to put in these. When you take out a card, you're supposed to put in these slots, also to maintain the airflow. I'm though pretty sure that, oh no, they actually fits. So I'm gonna put those in. So these are some of the things that very often just get thrown away when you are putting together a new server, but it's actually quite important to save these because you will need them later. So this one is ready to go back in, but I'm gonna leave it out because there are things beneath it that we have to look on. And we're gonna do kind of the same thing to this one. It comes with 2 of these, as you can see. Here's number 2, and it's exactly the same configuration. So I'm just gonna take out these cards. I'm just gonna take out the first one actually. I'm gonna leave the network adapter in there. Here we are. And now this is ready to go in as well, but we're gonna leave it out for just a sec and see what's beneath it. Over here we have all the guts of the server, and this slot right here is for the extension network card, the small extra one that you can buy, and it's fairly cheap when you buy the server. This is the two that's on the main board, and it has room for two more over here, and I think those are about half the price of buying an external NIC like this. I think it's about half the price. So I don't know why this server does not come with those, because that would have been more economic. And here we have the extension card. This is like the license key for the IBM adapter, and this is like a plastic thingy that it allows you to remotely control the server and take over the screen and stuff like that. More or less, that's what I use this for. So without this one, you can turn on and off the server, but you're not able to see what the server is really doing. If it's not responding, you can reboot it, but otherwise you're not able to see what it is doing. So it's quite expensive. On a bad day we pay 1,400 kroners for this plastic thing to get the license. That hurts. If you see my review on the Model 1 of the IBM x3650, there used to be an entire computer board on the main board. Now it's all built in to the onboard circuits. Okay. Gonna take off the plastic and go down to the memory. Yeah, all these blocks are 8 gigs, but it can do 16 gigabytes of memory blocks, and there's room for 2 more here. Is this correct? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, sorry. It takes 18 slots of memory. So it does even more. So there's 9 slots for each processor, and the slots they are directed into banks. If you use just every slot is 3 banks of memory, so if you can use just 1 bank of memory, you get a higher frequency, memory frequency. If you have to use 2, it goes down 1 level, and if you use 3, it goes down 2 levels. I'll write that down here somewhere, as I usually do. That's 128 gigabytes of RAM in this server, so that's pretty good. I'm gonna be using this server for virtualization, so it's gonna be able to host a lot of VMs. This server has the option of that you can put in a memory or a video card, and it has a plug for it right here for more power to the video card. On the old IBM Model 1 3650, I showed you that this server, when you're putting in a secondary processor, it had this voltage regulator card that you had to put in as well, and this is built in to the new models, so it's right here. They have probably found out that those modules got bad or something like that, that they were not as well protected when you were able to pull them out like that. So now they're built in on the main board. Down here we have a Broadcom chip, and that's because this server has Broadcom network. Otherwise there is not really a lot of interesting thing on this board. The memory configuration of this it's not as complicated as some of the other servers. You can put in an uneven number of RAMs to the processor and stuff like that, but it's of course it's good practice to put in blocks alike and stuff like that. Well, let's look at the processors. This server uses the Xeon processor group, and it's the Xeon 56 processors that is used here. And these processors, I know for a fact that I'm using Xeon 5650 in this server, and it's a, can I see that? It's a 2.67 gigahertz 6-core server with hyperthreading. Oh. So it has 6 cores with hyperthreading, which means that it has 12 threads, and it's double because there's one more down here. You are not able to put in different processors, they have to be alike. But it's a very powerful server. Each of these processors can do a lot of calculations. And for virtualization, they're really good and really fast. Newer processors are of course available, but also very expensive. Up here we have the RAID controller, and this cable, they're connected to these hard disk plates. Each controller is controlling 4 hard drives. They should be able to control 8 hard drives, but I think you have to change the plates then on the back of it over here. You can see down here that there's connections, and these connections go over to the server. Controller over here. Let's take this up. Yeah, I'm not sure what this plastic thing is. Yeah, this is the RAID controller, and this is it's very fine, all these. There's a lot of small SMDs down there. A lot. It's absolutely crazy how fine this print is. So you have to be very careful when plugging and unplugging these. And it has a battery. This part is a battery, and it's an lithium battery, and you're not supposed to throw it in the garbage. A very powerful RAID controller. So back in the slot with that, and it's like it's a PCI slot that is down here that plugs in this assembly, which comes with the USB device and the RAID controller. and it just plugs in. There we are. And then over here we have something weird. I have never been able to figure out what this is. If anyone knows what this is, please write it to me, because this is weird to me. I've never had this in use anywhere. Yeah, I know what this is. There's an extra panel for these over here, but these some plastic things. I don't know what these are used for. Have no idea. But it's in here, nicely out of the way. But what is it? If you know it, write it to me in the comments below. That would be great. Yeah, that's kind of the overview of this server. I've probably forgotten something, but so far so good. So let's pack up the server again, put on all these plastic thingies. They're sometimes a bit hard to fit down there again. That's one. That's one more. And then there's this one with the network adapter, and we're gonna put that in. Well, apparently this is PCI riser slot 1 and this is number 2, so we're gonna put this in number 1. I just want to make sure that these are interchangeable. They should be. Sometimes it's a lot of problems to get these in. If the cards are not very specifically put in place, they teeth you. Like this one. I think we got it. There we are. There's often problems with these sticking out too far, so the width of this is too much, so you have to force it down there with just bending the server a little bit. There we are. This is one of the hardest thing on this server model. It's putting these things down, and then we just have to put the cover back on. And now I'm actually ready to plug this server in and make it ready for production. Setting up the IBM adapter. If you haven't seen that, you can see the Model 4 video that I've done. It's almost the same thing. I am gonna do another video on this server, setting that up, but yeah, that will be coming along. So there might be a part 2, or I'm probably not going to call it that. If you're looking for a used server, the Model 3 is a really good choice. It has a lot of processing power and more RAM than the Model 2, even though it's only 2 more slots. It can handle I think it's 32 gigabytes more memory than, no, it's actually more. I'll look that up, but let's see the server models. They're kind of alike. They look very similar. This is the Model 1. And these are very cheap on eBay right now. You don't pay much for a server like this. The Model 1. And that is able to handle the Xeon processors, the 5100 series and the 5300 series and the 5400 series. And then we got the Model 2 over here, and they have changed the configuration to use 2.5 inches of discs, and the memory amount is hugely bigger than the Model 1. The Model 1 was able to handle 48 gigabytes of memory, and the Model 2 is able to handle, yeah, some more. And then we have the Model 3, which is the newest one of the IBM 3650 servers that I have. Although I have done a review on the Model 4. But these, you can start getting these used, and it's a really good server also. If I have to say something, we probably have had the most problems with the Model 2. Mostly the errors was dead on arrival. They were malfunctioning when we got them. They don't really die when they're in production. They die when they have been on the shelf. If your wallet is to entry level professional server, I would go for a Model 1. This is a really good place to start. It's a hard-working server. The number 2 is kind of optional. I think I would jump directly to the Model 3, but it has to be fairly cheap, because otherwise you might as well buy a brand new Model 4 and just go for a Model 4 with a slower processor. It's kind of my advice. Be very aware of the price. I hope you found this video somewhat helpful, and do subscribe to my channel, and you'll see more servers in the future. And give it a thumbs up if you found anything of interest. And thank you for watching, and you'll see me again. Have a nice day.